to study about the second topic. The second topic about chapter tissues is the difference between plants and animals. Now, under these differences, let us take the first heading as difference between structure and movement. Plants are stationary. It means they do not move from place to place, and the tissue which is present in plants, that is supportive tissue, it is often made of dead cells to keep the plants upright. The next thing is animal. Animals move around in search of food. Mostly they move only in search of food or in search of mates and in search of shelter. And the tissue present in plants is living tissue, and because they are living, they consume more energy compared to plant. The next step which we are going to study under differences is growth pattern. If we compare the growth patterns of plants and animals, plants, they have localized growth. That is, it is limited to certain regions, and those regions are called as meristems. And the types of tissues present in plants is meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue is responsible for growth and division throughout the plant life, and it is present in the regions like roots and shoot tips. Whereas permanent tissue, it is composed of cells that have lost the ability to divide, and they are present in a specialized area performing special function or specific function. Then if we talk about animal tissue, in animal tissue the growth is uniform throughout the body, and there are no such regions in animals of for dividing or regions where the cell division is restricted. There is no such division region. Next is structural organization and function. So plants, they have organs and organ system, and this organs and organ system, organization of this organs and organ system is less when compared to animals. Why? Because they have a sedentary life. Sedentary means at one place, stationary. And the feeding method, you all know that plants are autotrophic, though they produce their own food through a process called photosynthesis. In case of animals, the organ systems are very complex. They are highly specialized, and they have different localized organ system performing specific function. Then feeding habit, if we talk about, they are heterotrophic. It means they depend on other organisms for their food. And adaptations, it is designed for their active locomotion. Then some other important, so all the other, if we summarize the points, structural differences, we have seen that plants have supportive tissue with many dead cells, while animals have mostly living cells. If we talk about growth differences, plants growth is localized in certain regions, whereas animal growth is uniform without any dividing regions. And if we talk about organ systems and their complexity, animals have organ system which have specialized organs which are adapted to particular movement, whereas in animals the organ system is very simple as they have stationary lifestyle. Then adaptations, the difference in organ systems and structure reflect the different lifestyles depending upon the feeding habits. Because plants have sedentary life, so their adaptations are different, and animals are very active and heterotrophic. Now let us move to the 3D observation of the differences between plants and animals. Now if we talk about plants and animals, you see that plants are stationary. Just now as we talk about, plants are stationary. So here plants, here in the model you can see a tree. So mostly plants or big trees also, they are stationary, they do not move. Because they do not move, they have mostly dead cells, and these dead cells provide them mechanical support. Okay, then if we talk about the tissue of plant cells have tissues of two types. Plant cells have two types of tissues. What are those two types of tissues? Just now we have seen in the at a glance. We have seen that the plant tissues are of two types. One is meristematic tissue, another one is permanent. Next let us go to the second difference. Second difference, if we see, in plants have special tissues which keep growing on. The tissues grows on. Plant tissues grows on. You can see here a plant which is you can see that a small plant on growing. You can see in how the plants keeps on growing. First you will see a small plant coming out from the seed. Okay, then the plant is growing, and even you will see the growth till the adult stage. Okay, if we talk about growth in animals, they stop growing after certain age. You can see in this model small baby. Okay, this model you can see a small baby. This is the small baby. As the baby grows, you see that height, weight, everything keeps on changing. When this keeps on changing, you see that animals, they grow. Okay, they grow continuously. You can see the difference between growth. Okay, they grow continuously. Here the animal's growth is continuous and it stops after certain age. Now you can see, okay, here you can see small baby is growing, right? After some time, after reaching an adult stage, the growth of the body stops. Growth of the body stops. This is in case of, not only here you can see example of humans, okay. Here this is in case of all the animals. The difference, next difference between plants and growth is uniform in plants and animals. You can see here a tree. You will not see one leaf growing very large in size and another one is very small in size. Leaf growth of leaves is uniform. The growth of leaves or any parts of the plant is uniform. Whereas in animals growth is not uniform. You can see the growth how it is. Growth is uniform. In animals, you see that if suppose an animal is growing, you can see in this picture. This picture is a small dog. Dog has grown to a height, right? So growth is uniform. You will not see one leg growing first, then second leg growing later. Okay, the growth is uniform. After reaching certain stage, the growth stops. So this was about differences between growth. Now next we will study about difference. The next difference which we will study about present in plants. You will see plant tissues, okay, different types of plant tissues. Here you can see it is labeled here. Tissues we see xylem, phloem, round tissue and dermal tissue. Dermal tissue here is here dermal tissue is epidermis. The dermal tissue is epidermis. Epidermis outer layer is called as epidermis. Then after the epidermis comes the inside tissue, that is called as ground tissue. Inside tissue is called as ground tissue. Afterwards you will see a vascular bundle. You can see inside the tissue a circle, okay, that is called as vascular bundle, in which you will see type of tissue called as xylem, that tissue called as phloem, right? Then next let us talk about animal tissue. Now in animal tissue again you see different types of tissue. You see tissues like smooth muscle tissue, okay, then connective tissue, then nervous tissue, then blood, then you see columnar tissue. So in animals also we see different types of tissues, children. So let us revise this once again, reading the textbook. Before picking up the chapter, let's check for understanding. How much did we know? How much did we understand the chapter? Here let us go back. We have investors. What is the primary reason for plants having a large quantity of supportive tissue? A is plant having large quantity of supportive tissue. The options here is store more energy, remain upright, facilitate movement, increase photosynthesis. Answer is remain upright. Next question. Does the composition of tissue differ between plants and animals? Questions are: plants have more living tissues than animal tissues. Animals have more living tissues than plants. Both have equal amount of living and dead tissues. Plants only have dead tissues. Yes, children? No answer? Okay, many answers. Let us see. Right. Yes, animals have more living tissues than plant tissues. We discussed. Plants have dead tissues, very less. Systematic tissue, permanent tissue, dead tissue. Animals have living tissues only. Next. What characteristics of growth distinguishes plants from animals? Options are: plants grow uniformly throughout their body. Animals have limited growth regions. Plants have growth limited to certain regions. Animals do not grow after reaching adulthood. Yes, you are right. Plants have growth limited to certain regions. Next question. Type of tissue in plants, capacity to divide throughout their life. Permanent tissue, meristematic tissue, supportive tissue and dead tissue. Guesses? Answer is systematic tissue. Cell growth raised in animals. Limited to certain regions. It occurs during early development. Uniform throughout the body. Restricted to specific organs. Okay. It is uniform throughout the body. Okay, children. So there are some more questions which I will be sending you as home assignment. Okay, till then, goodbye, take care.